I'm Dr. Ask, and I'm here at my wonderful wherever I am. Y'all know where I'm at. I'm at home right now. So, the New Year's definitely has been starting in with the bang. Again, I am Dr. Ask, and today is a unique day for me. Beginning off the new year, and what is it today anyway? Today is the 3rd of January. I had to look at my phone. So today is definitely a decent day. And so I have okay, since I've spoken with everyone last, okay, I don't even know where I begin. Where do I begin? I don't know where I begin, and I don't know what I should actually share right now. Okay, so let me try to share some things. Well, I can go ahead and share. I was trying to save this for later on, but anyway, I'm not sure. I'm not gonna share everything. I'm gonna share portions of scenario here. So as you all know, I've been trying to get information on where I originated from, starting with the DNA. I started with the DNA. Well, I simultaneously started with the DNA from 23andMe, and I started with the birth certificate also. So I kind of did that at the same time. The DNA came back first. The DNA for 23andMe, which research not only, and I shared also on this channel, it does talk about where I came from, what my ancestry line consisted of, nationality wise, and what countries my bloodline goes through. And it also gave information about my health, certain parts of my health, like a sickle cell trait that I have. And also it did talk about things regarding my cousins or relatives, I should say, relatives that I share bloodline with. So as of right now, a lot of them were cousins. They were second cousins on down to like fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, or whatever cousins. So I have been really talking to them and just trying to get some information in regards to, number one, maybe possibly they may know my biological mom, because again, or biological parents, because again, I didn't have information regarding them. I didn't know where they came from, who they were. I had bits and pieces, which was called the non-identified information. When you go through adoption, they give the adoptive parents information regarding the child's information, just general information. So for example, if the parent had like some type of an ailment, so if the parent had like a sickle cell trait, or if they had full-blown sickle cell, or if they had cancer, or if they had scoliosis, whatever the case is, so their health elements. And then they also may describe like the family dynamics, how many people was in the household. Maybe they had 20 brothers and sisters, maybe they had a grandmother, grandfather, that kind of thing. So they give that non-identified information. And so it may say, had a grandparent died of cancer or whatever the case is. So they don't give you a lot, they give you enough. And so for my adoption in particular, they did give that information, as well as they gave, like, I think they told my parents where, if my mom, what high school she went to, because she was very young when she had me. So needless to say is that I received my birth certificate last Saturday, and it just had the mother name on it. And the name did look a bit familiar. Well, at least I felt like it was familiar. Especially the first name was very familiar to me. And so, of course, like anybody else. I'm walking out the door, so let me explain to you the process in which I went through, and I will definitely update you all as I go. So what happened was I had to do some business concerning my residency. So some great things, because I'm trying to we're getting ready to move, and so I had to do some information regarding that. So what ended up happening is that we began to I was walking out the door and I grabbed the mail as I usually do. I grabbed the mail out the mailbox and I didn't see anything else. And of course, I was kind of disappointed. And I felt like I said, well, dang, I felt like it was coming today. I guess my intuition may not been on point. And so I was a little bit disappointed, but something said, no, 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 keep looking in the mailbox, keep looking. So I guess I dug from the back as opposed to the front. And so what I did was I grabbed it out the front and it had my name that my parents gave me on it. So I opened the mail up, looked at it, and it was my birth certificate, my original birth certificate that I had before the adoption had gone through. So I looked at the form and it was pretty interesting. It just had a name on it. It had the time I was born. It had the name that I was given at the time of the birth. So that was pretty cool. And I don't know. And it just had one name on it, which was the biological or the birth mom's first, middle, and last name. And the way that the name read, I thought it was, how can I say? I somewhat thought it was a joke. I thought that was her nickname. You know what I mean? I'm not getting ready to release her information because that's not, cool. I wouldn't do that. She deserves privacy. Okay. At this time, I think in general, period, I would give her privacy. Just like I don't talk about my mother's name on, you may see her obituary on my Facebook, on my social media, but I don't say they're my parents' whole entire names, but nevertheless. So, and of course, I'm on my way to go and handle my residency business. And so as I'm filling out information regarding that, my mind is just wandering and wandering and wandering and wandering. And so I try to hurry up and do it so I can get back and process the information that was given to me. So I closed it back up. I put it in my purse. I rushed to go and do what I need to do. I came back home. Okay. And I just kind of woke up my husband because he was asleep. And I said, hey, they processed the birth certificate. I actually have it in my hands. He woke up out of his sleep. And so we began to start researching her, and I really couldn't find her. The name, I couldn't find it. And then I did find some information, but I had to pay, of course. I had to go into these different particular various websites, and they did list a whole bunch of addresses, and it did state St. Louis. And so I was like, yeah, okay, cool. So, but I didn't have a picture yet. So I'm like, well, I don't even know if this is her, I don't know if I could even identify this information. So what I did was I went on to this other website. I paid some money for that website. Then I went on to another website. That's the website that gave me the addresses. Now, don't get me wrong. I did come across some free websites that did have the information, but it was like it wasn't narrowed down. Okay. So, but I did have generalized information. So I began to go on to another website. That particular website I went on, I typed in her name, and it had two different ones. One was spelled a different way. Her last name was spelled a bit differently. And the other, because two of them came up, two names came up. So the other one had the name spelled the same way that it was spelled on the birth certificate. So I'm like, okay. So I clicked on the one originally, the one that had the correct spelling. And I looked at the picture and I was like, it was a yearbook picture. So I looked at it. I was like, I don't know. It kind of looks like me, but I don't know. I don't know if this is her. I still don't know. But it is a school that my father mentioned. It is a school. What? I take that back. I didn't know if it was a school, that particular school or not, because it didn't say the name of the school. Okay. So then I found another one. Like I said, 2 came up for it. And I look at this picture. This picture looked totally different from the other one. And I kept looking at it. And I was just like, I don't know if that looks like me. So my husband was like, well, let me see it. So I showed it to him. He was like, oh my God, it looks just like you. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. So I started forwarding it to my children. And I asked him, I said, well, do you think this looks like me? And they're like, oh my God, Mom, yes, it's the splitting image of you. And I was like, I don't really see it. I don't know. I guess it's hard to see yourself, right? And so I still didn't see it. And so I'm still looking, and I'm just looking up the information. And so a whole bunch of names began to come up, a whole bunch of different names came up under that. So I said a different last name. So I guess that was her husband. And I was just researching. I couldn't find her on any social media. And I was just like, wow, why isn't she on any social media? Well, she is older, right? Not that much older, but older than me, right? So, but even with elders or older people can be on the internet. And so I started looking. So finally I came across some more addresses. And what I did was I posted on Facebook and I said, hey, I found my birth mom, because again, I'm share my journey with you guys. So you can also, if this is something that you may be looking for a long lost person, or you may be adopted as well, or you might be looking for a biological father, or you might be looking for a biological mother, and they lost without a trace, whatever the case is. So here I am, I'm researching. I sent my information out to people. I was like, hey, I found my birth certificate. I found my real mom. And I was like, if any, my relatives want to help me. I don't remember what I said, but I said that I didn't even say nothing about help. And I was like, hey, I found my biological mom. I have a picture. And I don't know. I feel, I don't know how I feel right now. So everybody was like, congratulations. How do you feel? How you feel? I don't know. So my cousin inboxed me and she's like, hey, what's the addresses? So I sent her the addresses. I sent her the name. I sent her the pictures that I came up with, because I had 2 pictures. One picture, like I said, it had a different spelling of her. The one picture had a different spelling of her name, but the picture looked just like me. The other picture did not look so much like me, or at least I didn't see it as much. But that was the correct spelling of her name. So I sent my cousin information. She's like, okay, well, I'm still in St. Louis, so I'm going to leave and go. I'm going to leave the next day or something like that. So what I'll do is I'll try to find some more information for you. Is that okay if I do that? I was like, yeah. So I hadn't talked to her for a little minute. And I was just like, well, let me further go into detail. So I had been up. I probably gotten an hour's worth of sleep that particular night. That was for Saturday. Sunday, I was still researching, still didn't find a whole bunch of a lot of information. So as my cousin hit me back, she was like, yeah, I think I'm going to go on Monday to the residence. And she was like, is that okay? Cool. She's like, I have 2 residents that I'm going to go to. So I was like, all right. So on Monday, I had found some more information on her. So I was like, well, let me go to this particular high school and actually look at the yearbook, because you can go to Classmates. And if you go to Classmates, you could type in the year, et cetera, and you could actually see, the pictures and the names and et cetera, right, in the yearbooks. So I went to the yearbook of the particular high school. I was kind of guessing because they had okay, so first of all, let me tell y'all that they didn't have the exact information on the non-identifying information. A lot of the non-identifying information wasn't necessarily correct. It was kind of generic. They kind of made up some things. Some things were correct and some things weren't. As I'm searching on this, because again, I was told on the non-identified information, our mother was a certain age, but she was 2 years older than that. So there's some discrepancies along here, So as I'm looking for it, I'm going through, and I look at the yearbook, a picture, and I looked at her. I was like, okay, so I know this is her for a fact. This is definitely her. It looks like me. The name is correct. I see me. I see her. We look alike, right? I'm like, this is her. The name matches. The name, just the last name spelled like a little differently. But high school pictures do make mistakes because they made mistakes on my name. Okay, so I'm looking at it, and so I see a person next to her, and I'm looking at it, and they got the same last name. They don't necessarily look exactly alike, but they kind of look alike. So it's a gentleman. So I'm looking at him, looking at her. I'm like, And so I started doing some research. Long story short, I found out that was her twin. So I'm like, wow. I remember I go back to the non-identified information. It did say that there were either fraternal twins, either she had. I couldn't recall because last time I saw the non-identified information, I was 16 and I'm 46 now. So the non-identified information part of that is I couldn't recall if it said she had a twin or her siblings were fraternal twins. But either way, I'm like, this is her. This is her for sure. I know this is her. And so I searched her brother's name, and her brother had the same middle initial. His name was somewhat of a nickname also, and I'm like, okay, now I get why they would call her this and call him that. That makes sense now, because normally it would be a nickname. Okay, so I'm going through. He has businesses. I'm finding out that him and I are very, very similar. He has a ministry. He wrote some books. He's into a lot of different things. I'm like, wow. So I go to try to find his book on Amazon. I can't find his book on Amazon, but nevertheless, I know his book out there. His address comes up, and this is a recent address. And I know this is a recent address. It had a telephone number. All the other numbers prior to the bio mom or birth mom, it wasn't found. I couldn't find all the numbers were shut off. All the numbers were off. So I started looking at neighbors, because when you get this information, it'll have neighbors on there. And so I sent my cousin that information as well. Peace, how you doing, Brother Melvin? I sent my cousin the information as well. I'm like, hey, cousin, she has a twin, and here's his address, his telephone number. It was like 2:30 in the morning. I called. Well, it was 3:30 my time, 2:30 their time, because we're an hour ahead. We're on East Coast time. They're on Central time. So I call. I'm like, hey. I don't know how this is going to sound. It was an old school voicemail. It wasn't like a cellular phone. So I'm like, I don't know how this is going to sound. But I read the information off my birth certificate. I said, look, I'm a little nervous. So excuse me if I'm mispronouncing some names and everything. So I read the name off the birth certificate. I was like, well, I'm going to spell the name. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. The first name, the last name. I gave her my first, last name, and middle name. I gave her first name, last name, and middle name. And I also said what time I was born. I also said all this information that only somebody that had a birth certificate would know. So, I didn't receive any traction. I called back hours later. I probably called back about, because I didn't go to sleep. So I called back about maybe 10 a.m. 10 a.m., 9 a.m. their time. And I'm like, hey, I do apologize. I did call you really, really late last night. However, I'm calling you again to let you know who I am. Please if this is you, which I feel like it is, please give me a call. I'll be happy to send you the information via text, via, mailing. I can give you my website, so you can go to my website so you can look at me. I'll be happy to prove my identity. So my cousin was like, hey, so it was later on the day. My cousin was like, hey, I'm going to go over to this house, the first house that you sent me. So she went to the house. Nobody was there. And she went to her brother's house, my bio mother's house, which is my uncle. So she went to his house and nobody was there. So she's like, okay, well, I'm gone. So then she went to the other information I sent her, and it was dark. So I was like, abort mission. So she was like, oh my God, no, I'm not aborting mission. She's like, well, okay, well, let me just drive off. And so she started driving off, and a light popped in the house. And she was just like, look, I'm going to get out this car. So she texted me the whole time, like, look, this is what's going on. It's going down. So she goes up, knocks on the door, and I think someone was by the door or they were out. I'm not clear on that portion because I wasn't there. So the person was like, what you want? and she was like, hey, my name is such and such. My cousin Amira is looking for her biological mother. And they was like, what's her biological mother name? So they told her the name. And then they was like, yeah, she's been looking for her. She's been looking for her. Right? Do y'all hear me? So she's like, oh, y'all in any relations? They're like, no, but we know her. You know, we cool. We were cool at one point in time. You know, we live by each other or something like that. So my cousin, they was like, do you have a picture of her? Or is she with you? She was like, no, she's not with me, but I do have a picture. So my cousin showed them the picture that on my Facebook that she has of me. And then they were like, oh my God, she looks just like her. And then so they called her and she was just like, I don't know who this is. Who is this? So she hung up. Then they was like, but we got her mother's telephone number. So they called the mother. My cousin gets on, talks to my grandmother, and she's like, oh my God, we've been searching for her. And I don't know. So it was really weird. And my cousin's talking to her. I'm like, dang, I want to talk to her. You know what I mean? I'm excited. I'm like, look, I want to talk to her. I got some questions. You don't necessarily have expectations in these situations because you hear a whole bunch of horror stories. Okay. You hear that the adoptive mother's really cold and mean, or she doesn't know you, or she denies you, or she has other things going on. She has like 1,000 children. And she don't want nothing to do with you. And nobody in her family knows of you. You know what I mean? These are stories that I've heard. I've heard so many different things that's very scary. You know, nobody wants to be rejected. You know, don't get me wrong. I came from a great family. I have a great mother. She's passed a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. In June. It'll be 3 years in June. And so, who wants to keep on feeling rejected? Nobody wants to feel rejected. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. Nobody wants to feel rejected. Nobody wants to be hurt. Nobody wants to have insecurities that they had when they were little, because again, being an adopted child, even though your parents can love you so much, they can hug, kiss on you, and tell you every day you're special, My parents did, trust me. They were excellent. They didn't make me feel any kind of way. You know what I mean? It wasn't them, but it was just the point of not having your identity, not understanding or not knowing why. Why was I giving up? Sure, the paper said she wanted to further her education and all these other things, but it was generically written. It was very cold, so how do you know? How do you know what exactly you're feeling? You know what I mean? And then you get into these relationships and you don't really know, and you kind of don't really know how to be. You're already awkward. You're already weird, and people already looking, as an adopted child, you feel like everybody's pointing at you. That's how I felt for me. Okay, so anyway, I felt all these things, and I have since healed from that, but all that came back up. It all came back up in that moment. And I was just like, okay, that's great. They want to hear from me, but I'm still feeling some anxiety. I'm taking ginger. I'm walking around the house. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So she's like, well, I gave your grandmother your number. I'm not going to say her name. I almost said it. She's still alive. By the way, she is still alive. Isn't that powerful? But anyway, so she was like, she's gonna call you today. She probably not gonna call you today because she has to process, because she's overwhelmed just like you are. So I told, of course, I text my husband. I'm telling my husband because he's at work, and he's like, okay, cool. Okay, that's what's up. Whatever. So the next day I received a call, and first of all, I didn't go to sleep, and then I did lay down probably 30 minutes prior to my phone ringing. My phone rings. I'm like, hello, So I'm halfway bushy tail, bright-eyed, sleepy, exhausted, mentally exhausted, spiritually exhausted. I'm exhausted in every way. I'm like, I can't find a lighter so I can light my sage. None of that. So I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, yes. And she's like, hey, first of all, I want to know what your name is. I need some details on how you found me, or how you got my information. I'm like, gosh, she's kind of cold. You know what I mean? But as a human being, anybody can understand why somebody will be cold, because you don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? You don't know how this person knows you. You don't know nothing, right? But on my end, as the adoptee, I'm like, dang, why she act like that toward me? The little girl came out. So I'm like, yes, okay. So I'm very long-winded, as you see. So I started telling her the same story. I started telling her about the birth certificate, the laws of adopting in the state of Missouri. And she's like, cool. And she said, well, can you give me the information off of the, birth certificate? What information do you have? And so I was like, I can send it to you, but I'll also tell you. So I started reading. She said, well, what's the name on the birth certificate? I was like, well, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'll spell it for you. I spelled the 4, and she said, well, that's actually such and such and such and such. It's spelled that way because me and your father's sister came up with that name, and your middle name is actually your father's sister. I'm like, wow, okay, cool connection. Okay, she was cool with him, good, so I'm happy about that. I'm like, it wasn't just they had something going. Okay, so I'm happy about that. So I was made out of some kind of attraction, so that's great. So I'm still no judgment, by the way, no judgments, if I was, it is what it is. But sometimes, as you want to hear you are right. Everybody wants to hear that they parents had a connection of some sort, even if they ain't stay together. That is a scary situation, trying to find relatives. Absolutely. So as time go on, she's like, well, I was like, well, I was born at such and such time. I think it was 6:04 a.m. I was born. And then I gave her first, middle name, and last name, which is not hard to come out with because it's all. And then I told her also gave her maiden name and her married name. And I did Google, by the way, the guy that she was married to, but he had since passed. And so I was like, well, damn, is that going to be my father? I don't look like dude, so I don't think so. But I wasn't, thank God. So no disrespect to his family, but I didn't really want him to be my dad. Anyway, sorry. So as time go on, I'm still like, yo, okay. And so I'm giving her the information. She said, sounds like it, but I don't know. Would you be willing to submit to a DNA? I'm like, absolutely. I already have a DNA on 23andMe, so you can go there. Or if you want to do like the one at Walgreens or something like that, I'll be willing to do that too as well. It's no problem. I don't have a problem with proving my identity. So she's asking me these questions, and she's asking all the questions, and I'm kind of like, damn, well, what questions do I get to ask? And then she was like, look, I just want to prove who you are first before I give you any information, which is understandable. But still, like, dang, why is everything in everybody else's court but mine? Everybody else's, me being adopted was everybody else's decision. My parents, you know what I mean? Everything has been in someone else's court. So I'm like, so that's kind of what's going on in my mind. But I was like, no, don't feed into that. Don't feed into that energy because you really want to know something. And you have to understand her position, because for so long you've only looked at your position. You've only looked at your energy, your attitude. Although the beautiful thing about my parents is they instilled in me that my mother had to give me up because of her being young and she couldn't provide for me. So that was instilled into me. And my parents was like, look, don't hate your mother. Don't hate anybody. Nobody needs to be hate. You brought joy. You came to us, and my mother kept having miscarriage. My mother, she kept having miscarriages. So I came into her world as a blessing. Okay. And we were blessings for each other. Okay. So you don't want to. So I always looked at it like that. So I didn't have that anger. I still had that anger in the back of my mind, but it wasn't like it could have been. It could have been way worse, but it really wasn't because of the parents that I had. Now, if I had some other type of parents, it's like your mother not nothing. She ain't nothing. She gave you up. She ain't want you. But I didn't have those type of parents. So that's what helped me. I'm not gonna lie, it could have been way worse. So I'm giving her all this information. We're talking. We're going back and forth. She's like, well, thank you. I feel blessed. And so she's talking. She's like, well, I don't know. She's like, well, I was like, well, I can go ahead. I was like, is it cellular phone? She's like, yes. I was like, I can go ahead and send you some pictures. She said, cool. Yeah, we're adopted. Yes, I was adopted. So I sent her some pictures. I sent her the birth certificate. I sent her the birth certificate that I had at the time of before my adoption and after my adoption. And I sent her, because I changed my name a little while ago. So I sent that information as well. Okay. So she had that, and I sent her a picture of myself. So she's like, well, I'm gonna call you back in about 30 minutes. She's like, I gotta go work out. I was like, cool. She's like, I work out every day and I just want to, look at it. So she called me back in about an hour. She said 30 minutes, but she called me back in about an hour. So she calls me back and she just started crying. She just started crying. She's like, oh my God, we've been looking for you forever. You are her. That's you. You look just like me, and you look like my sister, and you look like your mother. You look like your grandfather. You look like this person, and your father's name is this, that, this is that. And that's a lie. I was forced to give you up. I didn't give you, and I had to go to court and tell them that I wouldn't interfere with the birth. I'm like, they had to do that. Then what's sad, what really, I'm going to be honest with you all. What really broke my heart about this whole scenario, okay? This really broke my heart when she told me this. But I didn't let her know that it broke my heart. She was like, as soon as she said that her birth was pretty cool, it was easy. She said it was painful, but it was beautiful. She said she felt pain, but it wasn't like how she heard other people in the room screaming and bawling and going through all those changes. But she said it wasn't that bad. It was beautiful. She said all she heard was whack, and she did not see me. They would not let her hold me, and all the doctors and nurses surrounded the little incubator or whatever that is that they put the baby in, and they surrounded that so she couldn't see me, and they wouldn't let her get up, and she had like her blood pressure shot right up. So that was really sad. She didn't get to hold me. She didn't get to see me, nothing. Because nowadays they allow the parents to have some time with the child. And I could understand because they don't want the parents to change their mind. You know what I mean? But now they actually do that now. But she's never seen me. Okay. She's never seen me. And wow, that's painful. That is very painful. So so let me update you on her. She never had any more children. I was her only child. My biological father was something else. He had other women pregnant at the same time she was pregnant. So I didn't ask her like a lot of information. I asked her some things, but I didn't ask her a whole bunch of things. I kind of wanted to save it for the visit. Oh, which brings me into the next thing I was going to tell you. So anyway, tomorrow I'm going to go see her. So, I don't know. So how am I feeling? Because I know y'all going to ask. Numb, weird. That's how I'm feeling. Weird as hell. I'm already weird. I'm already unique. Weird. That's how the hell I feel. I feel very weird. And I don't know how else to be. I don't know. This is not a book. People didn't write, people do have books on it. But there's not no professionalism with on how to deal with these kinds of things. I just know how I feel. I just know it's weird. I just know that it's weird. It's weird and it's very weird, right? So I don't know how I'm supposed to act or how am I supposed to be. I just don't want to have this big old emotional moment. I don't want to be emotional with her, with that. It's just, it's just too much emotions running around, I don't want to. She's already cried on the phone. So she was like, well, your grandmother, my mother would like to speak to you. I'm like, oh my God. So I talked to the grandmother and she was just like, I promise you, I didn't want to give you up. We just couldn't afford you. I understand. I'm reassuring them like, hey, it's cool. I understand. My life, it's not like my life was bad. I promise you. I assure you, I had a great life. My baby brother was adopted and we had an open adoption. So I understand. Yes. But mine was semi-closed. I could have gotten information, but if they had to did the adoptee laws, I would have had to get permission from my parents to get my information. But I still would sort of somewhat like my adoption records. I would like that, but if I want my adoption records, I do have to petition the courts to get it. But I would like that just to have it, just to get some information. So, but yeah, so I spoke with my grandmother, and she was just like, still spunky in her 80s. She's still like, yo, what's up? She was, real energetic. Like, she goes to church, and that's the first thing she asked me. She's like, do you go to church? I'm like, no. I'm like, but I believe in God. She's like, that's okay. And she was just like talking to me. I was asking her questions about the bio mom. Like, what was she like? She's like, oh, she likes to dance. She likes to party. She likes to snap her fingers. She likes to smile. When she walks in the room, she lights up the room. So I thought, yeah, if I want with my adoptive records, but I already got my birth certificate. So yeah, I'll probably do that later on down the line. I would sort of like that, just for records, because I pretty much already know what I really need to know. And so she told me my biological father's name, and I was under the impression that his family owned gas stations in St. Louis, but that's not true. His family does own some things, but it wasn't a gas station. So, and I don't want no money from them. It's like I'm coming to say, hey, let me get what my inheritance said. I don't want no money from them unless they're gonna give it to me. But no, I don't want money like that. It's not like that. I don't know. I really don't have any expectations as far as he is concerned. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you. But yeah, so anyway, I will update you. I think I have a relative. I'm not sure. I think she's a niece of hers. So I think it's going to be like a second cousin of mine. I think it's a second cousin of mine or something. I think she's going to film it. She probably is a YouTuber. I'm almost sure she's a YouTuber. I don't really know her yet. So I think she's going to film like my document, like my coming in and everything. And so I'll probably share that on the channel if my biological mother's mine. But right now I'm protecting her privacy. I'm not gonna say her name or anything like that. But it's just weird. I don't even know how to express it. I normally, you all know me, I would express myself to the fullest, to the bottom line. Even when I give readings, I express myself. When I do healings, I express myself. But this is something, to be honest with you, this is something in my life that has held me back. Not knowing, I've continued on my life. It didn't break my spirit. It didn't break me down, but it's been a sore point. It's like a lot of things I had to heal from. This is part of that. This is part of that. Yes, you're correct in letting my time to need to know. Right, correct. So this has been something in my life that has held me back from really living out my full potential. This has been definitely difficult in the sense of a lot of my relationships that I've had, the way I've treated people, the way I'm not liking to be hugged. So this has definitely been a difficult process, but I've always continued to try to work on healing from it. I always try to work on healing from it. And that's why what's wonderful about it is that I'm open to, you know what I mean? I'm not angry with her. You know what I mean? I'm not angry with her because I get it. I'm not tripping with her. I'm like, why you leave me? I don't feel like that. But I'm not gonna lie and not say that I haven't had issues along the way of developing friendships with people and always feeling awkward, because I've always been awkward, and that's part of my awkwardness. But as I learned, I am just awkward. So I don't know. So I think it's partly because I'm adoption. The other half is just my personality. It's just a part of my personality. Not knowing, it's very tough not knowing where you come from, or who you are, or where you come from. So now that I found her, they have a really big family. and they are trying to, everybody's trying to come see me. It's like the Antoine Fisher movie. By the way, I could watch, I watched that a few times, but I cannot watch that because I lose it. I just get sensitive. I start bawling when I see that movie because that's something that I've always wanted. So I don't know. I'm even getting emotional talking about it. So I'm gonna end this because I'm getting too emotional and I don't like being emotional. It's just not cool. But it's a part of a healing process. But I'm not gonna sit on this video and cry. I'm not gonna do it. No. But it's not cry of pain. It's cry of finally getting to the point of healing, because tears are a part of your healing process. It's a subtle part of healing. So that's what I like about it. And it's absolutely necessary. Yeah, I look just like her. Oh my God, I look just like her. She's a little bit smaller than I am. I'm thicker. I'm a little thick. She said my father was short too. She said my father was short. He's dark skinned. She's brown skinned. Her and I about the same complexion. And she got, look, see this little line in the middle of my nose? She got that too. The way my eyes are, I have unique eyes. That's how her eyes look. My grandfather's eyes look like that. And she said that, and her cheekbones are like this. I wish I could show y'all a picture, but I don't want to. I probably would do a video. I probably release the video that we're gonna do. I'm not sure. I'm gonna ask her how she feels about that. If she doesn't, she really wants to tell the world. She did tell me she wanted a relationship with me. Okay. So another thing this is, because my mother, let me tell y'all something about my mother. My mother was no joke. My mother was a mother bear. Okay. And my mother was very protected, overprotective of me. Okay. So my father did tell me, he's like, well, we were just scared and we worried about you. We didn't want nothing to happen to you, which I understand. I would be the same way. When we get our children, I'm gonna be the same way. You know what I mean? So I'm probably gonna be the same way. So I understand, you know. I did tell my father, and he was like, great, I'm gonna show him pictures. I'm gonna go see him that next day. So but it's definitely difficult. You know, I think that we didn't really talk today. We've been talking every day since that day. 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, all times of the day. Even between me, she's retired. So we've been really doing a lot of talking. She's been asking me questions about myself, what I like, what I don't like. And I found out that a lot of people in the family, we have a lot in common. She likes the same type of movies I like. She's spiritual. She's very spiritual. She does go to church. I don't, but I don't care. But yeah, so, you know, I still, you know, everybody's like, that your mother. I'm like, yeah, that is my mother. That is my biological or birth mom. But I still call her by her first name. I don't know her like that. I just, but I that's my mom. You know, I'm gonna, I wouldn't mind a relationship with her. Salute to you, salute to y'all, salute everybody. Hi. Did you find her? Oh, yeah, I found her. Yeah, I'm going to go see her this weekend. I found her. We look just alike. I got pictures of everything. I found her. Yep, I sure did. So, yeah, I have to excuse my eyes. I almost attempted to cry to pull them back. But yeah, so Dice TV, Amira, all things natural. Had to give y'all a shout out. I had to make sure I mentioned y'all name. I had to, you know, I got to make sure I talk to my peeps. But yeah, I did talk to her. I spoken with her. She's been giving me information. I've been asking her. Now I'm trying to find my biological father. That seems like that's going to be a little bit difficult. His name wasn't even birth certificate, but she does know him. She does know him. She hadn't seen him in like the last 2 years. She's like, they don't have beef. It's not like when she seen him, she'd be like, F you, you know, it ain't like that. She just be like, she says she speak to them and they keep it moving. But it's I don't know. I just feel weird. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. They're gonna. She has like 4 other siblings. She has 4 other siblings, and it's her. She has a twin. She has a fraternal twin, a brother. And she has her mother still living. She has like a lot of other family. So I'm gonna meet them tomorrow. I'm not gonna meet all the family because that'll be, I think that's too much for me right now. I just kind of want to gradually work my way into talking to everybody. Okay. So we will see how tomorrow. I think a cousin of mine is going to tape it. Her niece or somebody is going to tape it. So we'll see what tomorrow turns out. I don't feel like being emotional. I don't like being emotional. That's something I kind of do by myself. I mean, when my mother passed, I did not cry. That's not really me, but I ain't gonna lie, this is because death, I deal with death. I understand death. Death is not a sad thing for me unless it's a child. If it's a child, then that's different. Or if it's somebody that, but my mother who passed, it was a ongoing thing, and she prepared me for her death, so I didn't really cry. I didn't feel like that. So, but this is a little bit differently because this is something that I've been dealing with my whole life, and this is an insecure area for me. I don't have many insecurities in my life, but this is definitely some insecurities. I'm not going to front. I definitely have some insecurities as far as this is concerned. My children want to go, but they were like, Mom, no, we're going to let you go. My husband's going to go. She made me spend a night, by the way. She insists that I spend a night at her house. So that's going to be crazy within itself because, okay, check this out. This is another thing I wanted to say is that I don't really have people that look like me. My grandchildren look like me a little tiny bit. Like my grandson, his eyes look like this. I never noticed that I have a particular, y'all see what I'm talking about? Like the way my eyes look. Y'all can y'all kind of see? Other than I ain't been getting no sleep lately. So don't look at the bags, but look at the way my eyes are. That's how her eyes are. So my grandson eyes look like that, but I never noticed that. My youngest grandson, his eyes kind of look like that. Well, he looks just like me because his dad looks like me. But his dad is a combination of me and him. On this end, I look just like her. I look just like this woman. I look just like her. And it's weird. It's so weird to have somebody look like me. And again, she didn't have any more children. I'm her only child. So and it was very difficult on her in having to give me up. And I can tell she's not just selling me no wolf ticket. She's not just trying to make me feel better. She's telling the truth on that. I'm gonna be honest with you. She's keeping it real. She's keeping it real. It is 2 sides to a story. It's really 3 because it's my side, it's my adoptee parent side. I don't want to call them my adopted, but for the sake of you guys, they're not my adopted parents. But for the sake of you guys, I'm saying my parents. And then it's my birth parents side. It's 4 sides. Then it's my biological, my birth father side, and then it's my birth mom side, right? And then it's my grandparents side. See, it's a lot of different energies in this situation. And I think this is the best time. She's like, I wish I would have known earlier. I think that this is the best time for me to know. And so what I've also started doing is don't cry. Don't cry. You're gonna make me cry because I can feel your energy. But this is the best time for me to know about my family because this is something I've been wanting to know, but I pushed it back. But it's very painful growing up and knowing that you're adopted. It was very painful growing up. And this is a very complete sore spot for me. And so finally, yay, I get to deal with it. I mean, I've been dealing with it, but I get to really understand. I really get to I get to I've been healing from it, but I really get to a point of, what is the word? I get to just heal. I get to heal from it even further on knowing, and because I'm getting ready to adopt, because my husband and myself, we're going to adopt some more children. I will get to understand more so about them because I needed that. So I can handle certain things a little bit differently than how my parents handle it. My parents did an excellent job, don't get me wrong, but it's certain things that my mother did not understand why I wanted to find out about my biological mother. That's one thing. Let me just tell you, that's the only problem that I have with my mother. My mother was the best mother in the world, but that was an issue between her and I, and that was some arguments with that. You know what I mean? So for me now, I'm actually, she's passed, and so now I come from it makes sense, right? So I come from dealing with having a great, wonderful parents, having wonderful parents, and then now moving into the area of having friendships, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be friendships with, I don't know about the father though. I'm going to try to look that out, but if not him, definitely the siblings. I want relationships with the siblings. I'm not going to lie. Now I always picture this in my mind, and it's probably really funny. It is a curse and a blessing as well, Amira. But what happens is, what I do want to do, that y'all gonna laugh at me. Y'all gonna think y'all gonna think Dr. Miracle's crazy. But let me just tell y'all this. So what I want to do is, if I find my siblings, we can ready go beat up some couple of people that picked on me when I was younger. I got Facebook friends with them just so I know where they live at, so I can go and whoop on them. Because it was just being my mother. My mother was a school teacher, and my mother, somebody try to pick on me, my mother would go up to the school with a bat. You heard me? And if y'all had to see, my mother was a real sweet woman, cooker, homemaker. When my father came home, dinner was ready. That's the household I grew up in. Dinner was ready. I didn't have to eat fast food unless I wanted to. I did anyway. But my mother always cooked a home meal. When I became a vegetarian, my mother cooked vegetarian foods for me. You understand what I'm saying? That's the type of mother that I had. But I'm just telling y'all that's kind of how I grew up. And my mother used to go up to that school with that bat, like, y'all not gonna whoop my baby. Oh no, because they used to always want to jump me. They'd be like, you think you better than everybody because you light skin. I'm not even light skin. I'm black. What the hell? Do y'all see this light skin? It's not light skin. It's not light skin. But whatever. So that gave me a complex about that. So anyway, you got long hair. You think you better. Y'all know how it is when y'all growing up. It's always something. If you could be whatever complexion, they'll still say, you think you're better than everybody. I'll tell you like this. I lost my mom when I was 6, and I wish I could only have to find her. I had to find her instead of, she was deceased. You only got this one. Just she got only you. Yep. Yeah, but see, the thing about this is, and I'm sorry for your loss. The thing about this is that it's still a thing where I'm still loyal. Y'all gotta understand, I still have some loyalties here. Okay, so this is the really big issue. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, family. Let's talk about this. Okay, so there are certain loyalties here. Here's my biological, there's my birth mom on this side, who has never had any other children, and she's meeting me for the first time. Okay, and her family, I'm meeting her family, etc. And then here's my family that I grew up with. I have a gang of cousins that love me, that I wouldn't allow to get too close to me, but they still love me nevertheless. Everybody knew I was adopted. My father doted me. My mother doted me, gave me everything I wanted, gave me so much love, hugs, kisses, pumpkin pies and sweet potato pies, whatever the hell I wanted, cheesecake, because she was an excellent cheesecake maker. Yeah, I wish I would have had her cheesecake, but I'm getting her cookbook and I'm gonna make her cheesecake online. But anyway, but I'm gonna do it vegan style, and then I'm gonna do it regular, and I'm gonna do it vegan style. Okay. So anyway, and my mother from Mississippi, so you know what I'm talking about when I say cook. You know, people used to beg, like my friends. She'd be like, "Hey, baby," she would, no matter what time of the day it is, she would go in the kitchen and cook a brand new meal. Okay. I'm telling you, like she'll cook meal. Y'all want to go to the party? Okay. And my friend would never have no money. She'd be like, "Oh, we'll just pay your way." That's the type of parents my parents were. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Okay. So I have a certain loyalties toward her. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not something she wanted back in the day. But at the last part of her life, she did come around. Okay. But because she didn't want to hurt me. It wasn't that she was being selfish, but she didn't know what was waiting on the other end for me, and they was trying to protect me, which I totally get now as an adult, right? But at the time of a child, you don't get that. That's painful. It's like, why are you trying to hold me from finding out who I am? Anyway, so there's a loyalty there. So every day I've been calling my father. I usually talk to my father twice a week. But now, because he knows I've been telling him and sharing with him, I can't give you the family recipe. I'm gonna make a cookbook. Actually, I'm gonna make a cookbook. So as I go on, I think that's what's in the back of my mind. I think that's the emotional part of it as well. The emotional part of it is having that in my, because I hate to sound spooky wooky, right? But y'all know I'm a healer, okay? Y'all know I'm a healer. Y'all know I read energy. Y'all know I know about energy. I'm not nature boy. I'm not like him. He full of shit. Excuse my French, but I'm not like that. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not saying I'm not a polygamist. I'm not none of that stuff. I don't do all that. It's just some stuff, and I actually study, and I study all the stuff he's talking about that he Googling. I'm actually studying, because you can't just find stuff on Google. You actually have to take the class and study, and you have to be naturally gifted. So that's me. Anyway, I can sit in you. You can what? I can sit in you in a mirror chat all day. Oh, you can? Oh, okay. Thank you. So I don't know, y'all. So anyway, what the heck was I saying? Okay, yeah. So I found myself on the verge of, I don't know. I think that's where the emotion is, like, am I backstabbing my mother? My mother have not, to say all that, to say this. My mother, who has passed, who has transitioned, I've not felt her energy for a minute, since like Saturday. Usually I hear her in my head, and she'll be like, "I feel the same way too, Dice. You cool? I like your little vibe. I need to get me some little music and play in the background." But anyway, but I have not felt her energy since Saturday. So I'm like, dang, is she mad at me? Because she was mad at my father. Not mad at him, but she had some issues because well, I ain't gonna tell y'all his business, but he's having a life now. Let's just say that, which he should. She's gone. He should have a life. But my mother was no joke. I just told y'all that my mother was a sweet lady, but she still was a gangster. She was a gangster sweet lady, So I don't necessarily feel her energy right now, and I don't know. I have not done a reading on myself since this time, because my emotions are everywhere right now, and I just kind of want to go into this. I want to be open, right? I want to go into this situation open, and I want to listen to everybody, what everybody has to say, express how I feel, let them express how they feel. Continuously talk to my father, reassure him that I love him. It's nothing changed. He told me, he's like, I understand. He said, nothing's changed. Only way something to change, it'll change on my end, because he said he ain't going nowhere. So that's what I like. But I'm going to keep saying that to him and I'm going to hug him. I'm not really a hugger. My father just now started hugging me. I mean, he loved me. My father's always loved me. He's always done things for me. He's always been there. I remember one time I was like, Daddy, I was like, I don't know, my lawnmower not working. I need to get my grass cut. And he was like, well, I don't know what you want me to do. And then he was like, whatever, click. And then an hour later, I hear somebody go, I look outside, my father's mowing my lawn. You know what I'm saying? That's how my father is. That's how I am. He's a Taurus, I'm a Taurus. So we kind of have some, we're not really huggers like that. We're very good people, very affectionate, loving people, but we're not the nicest people in the world, but we're sweet. We have a good heart. Does that make sense? So I don't know. I'm just trying to be open. Y'all see that light flicks? My light flicks all the time. Me and light, I don't care. I could be at your house. Your house could be the brightest thing, but I will make your light flicks because I have certain, that's another story. But anyway, so I don't know. I just want to be open. I'm gonna stop saying I don't know because I do know, but I'm just gonna be open and I'm gonna allow things to happen. I'm not gonna do no manifestations. I've already manifested enough. So I just, in this situation, I just want to be open. Only thing I do want to manifest is finding the bio father side, and I want to manifest that. But I want to be open in this situation. If they hug me, I'll hug them back. If they tell me they love me, I'll tell them I love them back. But I don't have any expectations. Does that make sense? I don't have any expectations. I'm not gonna deny her of wanting to hug me. I'm not gonna deny her. Although I don't like hugs all that much because that's too much energy transference. Okay, y'all like, why you don't like hugs? Well, that have a lot to do with me being adopted, and that does have a lot to do with me just not wanting people's energy on me. I was like, I don't know what kind of energy you got, girl. Yeah, I'm not really too touchy-feely. I don't like, my husband be kissing and stuff on me and touching on me. That's cool, but that's husband. And my daughter makes me kiss her. She kisses me. I'm like, oh, not in the mouth. Her and my grandson. My granddaughter be kissing me. She'll sit in my face. She's like 1, and she'll sit like this, and she'll just stare at me. I mean, she don't stick her lips out or nothing. I'm like, what are you doing? And they like, she just wants to kiss you. She'll kiss me. So that's pretty much it. And they be like, slob. Oh, I don't like wet kisses. I don't like when people kiss me with, why is your lips wet like that? Oh my God. But anyway, so I don't know. That's going to be weird. So that part of it just, I'm just going to naturally be myself. I'm just going to, and then y'all know I'm kind of this psychic. Well, I don't like the word psychic, but I use it because people know what psychic means, because people can relate to psychic rather than me saying intuitive. If I say intuitive, people be like, what? So I use the word psychic, but I don't really like the word psychic, but I use the word psychic. I am a medium, but I don't like using the word psychic. But anyway, so, and then with psychic, people think you're supposed to, they'll be like, oh, what you know? Do you know what I'm going to wear tomorrow? What? I don't care what you go wear tomorrow, So yeah, I don't. I don't. My daughter will kiss me on my lips if I let her. I'll be like, I don't know where your lips been. You grown now. I ain't gonna say that about my daughter, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all want y'all grown ass children kiss their lips because y'all know what they be doing. They got boyfriends and girlfriends and stuff. That's my daughter. My daughter got a boyfriend, and my son's got girlfriends. Well, one of them do. The other one, I don't know what he do. He's so quiet, and he an Aries, so you know how that is. Anyway, Aries are really quiet about their life, borderline secretive, in my opinion. But I don't know, y'all. So I do know, but I'm just gonna be open. I'm not gonna force anything. I can predict what's gonna happen. They're gonna kiss me. It's gonna be more than 7 people. I already know, because it's gonna be a whole bunch of people. I already know. She's like, it's just gonna be 7 people. I don't really believe that. I feel like it's gonna be a lot more people. So I already know certain things, but as a psychic, as an in tune person, it's not a thing where we just be like, the color's green, orange. I feel Bobby's presence in the room. It's just kind of different. It don't work like that. Because sometimes you have to shut the shit off, because sometimes you'll go crazy if you hear voices every second of the. You have to shut it off. As a skilled person, you have to shut the shit off sometimes, because you'll go crazy. But anyway, I ain't ready to get into all that. Yeah, because y'all I'll be sounding wild. But anyway, I'm gonna end this video. I think I don't know. I've been having a lot of mucus here lately. I don't know why. I had some. Well, I do know why. I had well, let me tell y'all. Yesterday, I had a Subway sandwich, a vegetarian Subway sandwich, and sometimes when I've been vegan for a long while, and then I eat like vegetarian food, then I'll get like mucus, and I can feel the mucus in here. I'm like, oh, I can feel it right here. Okay, wait, in this video. Peace. Okay. Woo! Woo! Okay, wait a minute. Before I go, I'm sorry. I had to mucus right up in my mouth, and it was just gross. And I have a tissue. I happen to have tissue here, right here next to me, and I had to just spit it in the tissue in my hand. I had a tissue in my hand. I had to spit it in the tissue, but it was just gross. But anyway, I apologize to do that online. I am so sorry, y'all. But it's just I had to get it out because I can't do it. So I was gonna try to click on the video real quick, but whatever. So nevertheless, subscribe, like, share it, tell your friend, tell a kin, I don't know, tell your mama, tell whatever. Definitely peace out, y'all. Let me get this mucus out my system. I'm getting ready to take my favorite cocktail, which is let me make sure I say it right because I say it funny, okay? Cayenne pepper with ginger / lemons / did I leave something out? Did I say ginger? Did I say cayenne pepper? Cayenne pepper, ginger, vinegar. Yeah, that's a cocktail I usually make when I start feeling weird. So I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna take some of my black seed oil because again, and it might be a lot of this. I think it's what I ate. I'm just gonna be honest with you because I had a Subway sandwich. I just had a vegetarian. They had a veggie delight, and I kind of wanted. I had to text my husband, brought some home because I told him I didn't feel like cooking because I cook every day. So, okay, y'all seen the tissue. My bad. So anyway. Peace out, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I do apologize again but I had to get that mucus out. Y'all can hear it, can't y'all? But anyway, as a healer, sometimes we, at least I'm not back eating meat. But I will kind of go slide between vegetarianism to veganism to plant-based because it is a difference. So I kind of go in between the three. But sometimes when I go long periods with just eating vegan stuff and I go back to vegetarian stuff, then mucus comes in. But anyway, nevertheless, subscribe, like, number share. Let me end this video.